After an inconsistent start, the San Francisco 49ers have put the pieces back together. And today they stand on the threshold of another playoff appearance. The Niners are no strangers to pressure contests. And with 2 key games remaining, they are within reach of their 6th division title in this decade. San Francisco opened their season by edging the Saints. But now it's New Orleans up against the wall, desperate to preserve their playoff hopes. It should be no surprise that Candlestick Park is sold out for this match between the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. This is a look at what's at stake. The Western Division, the 49ers and the Saints tied at 9-5. The Rams looking over their shoulder. Weather today, in contrast to what apparently has been the condition back in the East, weather in San Francisco is perfect. Temperature is 65 degrees, very little wind. In fact, I was down talking with Jim Mora and Bill Walsh just a minute ago down on the field, and all they talked about in their pregame meeting was, hey, the wind's not blowing. They're both primed and ready. Jim Mora of the Saints, Bill Walsh of the 49ers. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. John, as they approach this game, what do you think are the thoughts of this man first?
Well, you know, last night I was really surprised by the confidence that Jim Mora and his team both have coming off that big loss to the Minnesota Vikings. But Jim Mora said, hey, we've been great out here in the West Coast. The last 5 times we've played in the West Coast, we won. We beat the 49ers here on this field a year ago, and we feel good about coming into a big game here. But there are 3 guys on that other side that we have to stop. Here's one of them, Joe Montana. We have to get a rush on him, get in his face. And the other 2, of course, Jerry Rice and Roger Craig. That's the offense of the 49ers. That really is the 49ers, and that, if the Saints are going to be successful, they have to stop them, and here's why. Look at this. When the 49ers win, and they're 9 wins, look at the touchdowns. 9 touchdowns for Rice, 8 touchdowns for Craig. Now, when they lose, they've each scored 1 touchdown. So the success to stopping the 49ers is stopping Craig and Rice.
And here is one of the people that the 49ers have to be concerned about, the kicker. One of the few times that you hear other teams talk about individuals on the other team, and it's the kicker. It's Morton Anderson to kick it off. Doug Dubose. And he'll handle it and slips down at about the 7-yard line. And he's got some room all of a sudden. Dubose out to about the 24, where he's hit down by Milton Mack. Saint injured, and now he gets back to his feet. Joe Montana, who said to us yesterday, I feel better than I have in a long time. He'll be looking at a 3-man front. Warren Wilkes and Jumpy Geathers. 4 fine linebackers in Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Swilling. And a questionable secondary. Montana outside quickly to Craig and dropped. Ricky Jackson was man-on-man with Craig. Here's the rest of the 49er offense. Montana, Craig, Rathman, the 2 runners. Taylor starting in place of Mike Wilson, Rice, and John Frank back at tight end. Up front, the 5, Wallace, Sokolu, Randy Cross at center, Guy McIntyre, and Harris Barton. 2nd and 10. Montana. John Frank fights for a gain of 8 and fights for the football, stopped by Pat Swilling. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2.
That's one thing that Bill Walsh likes about having John Frank back in the lineup. He said he gives us some of that intensity, some of that fight, some of that toughness on offense. You could see that. The play was over. The whistle had blown, and John Frank kind of plays offense like a defensive guy. He's still fighting for yardage after the whole thing's over.
Remember, like 3 years ago, the block on Lawrence Taylor with John Frank? He's one of those guys who sticks to you.
Never forget that. He made the All-Madden team because of that block.
Montana fakes to Craig and gets it up the middle to Jerry Rice, who's wide open at midfield. Brett Maxey made the stop after a gain of 17. Red Cashin is the referee. Those of you who watched in overtime, the Patriots keep their playoff hopes alive with a 10-7 victory over Tampa Bay. Welcome to Candlestick Park. Pat Summerall, John Madden. Nothing here, just started.
You can see what started that fight. Jerry Rice was down. Brett Maxey came up and put a hit on him.
Great. Five, stopped by Joel Colbrand.
This guy is an amazing guy, this Roger Craig. Remember when he was a fullback? Then the 49ers a year ago switched him to tailback. And Bill Walsh thinks one of the best things that happened to Roger Craig is when he was moved to tailback, he lost 10 pounds. And I'll tell you, I saw this guy strip yesterday, and he's about as lean can be.
And very durable and very quick.
He has muscles where I didn't know they had them.
Montana over the head of Rice. Ball just took off.
You know, the thing about Montana that he doesn't do, if you look at that statistic there, he has 17 touchdowns this year, but he's only thrown 8 interceptions. And, you know, there's one thing, a quarterback isn't going to complete every pass. You're not going to be successful on everything you do. But when you're not successful, you don't want that thing intercepted.
Rice and Greer wide to the left this time, and Craig goes in that same direction. Greer off his hand. Van Jakes on the coverage. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York. And here's Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat and John, Michael Irvin, the rookie wide receiver, having a huge day for Dallas. This is his 3rd touchdown catch, and the Cowboys lead the Redskins 24-17. About 4 minutes to go. Back to Pat.
Well, you have to stop and think about, do we want to win or do we want the first-round draft choice? And I really don't ever think that enters into it.
Well, not with a guy like Tom Landry in that organization.
Punt is blocked. The Saints put the heat on. Blocked by Colbrand. And the Saints get the first turnover.
That is the type of thing that they were looking for. The Saints were saying that we have to come up with some big plays, but not only offense. Maybe we can get a big play on defense, maybe on special teams. Watch, your block is going to come straight up the middle. It looked like Helton stepped to the left, and Colbrand was coming to his left. That's the first punt block of the year for them.
And the Saints take over at the 49er 24. Bobby Hebert gives to Reuben Mays, and Mays might have gotten the yard. Stopped by Romanowski. Hebert, the quarterback, and here's his supporting cast. Mays, Jordan, the backs, Martin and Lonzel Hill wide. Hobie Brenner is the tight end up front. Dombrowski, Edelman, Porchapillo, and Gilbert. Mays. Perhaps at the 20. 49ers, although they have gone to a 4-man front the last couple of weeks, open with this look. Here's Hope. Michael Carter having a great year, and Kevin Fagan up front. The linebackers Haley, Fonhorn, Walter, and Romanowski. Secondary, McIyer, Wright, Ronnie Lott, and Jeff Fuller. 3rd and 7. Four wide receivers for the Saints. Hebert out of there. Incomplete. Intended Perryman, and we'll take a look at what they say, and perhaps the best place kicker in football.
I'll tell you, that was the thing the 49ers wanted to do, is put pressure on Hebert. Danny Stubbs, the number 2 draft choice, a rookie for the 49ers this year, put a big hit on Hebert just as he threw that one. Last time they played, the Saints had a lot of success in that shotgun formation.
This is Morton Anderson with Brian Hansen holding. 38 yards out. And good. 3-0 Saints.
Yeah, it was interesting. Morton Anderson, before the game, Pat, was out here. Look, he comes out, he's carrying 2 white shoes, wearing 2 black shoes. Now he went and he kicked with the black shoes, then he changed and put a white one on his plant foot and kept the left one on his left foot or kicking foot. Then he switched back and he put the black one back on his right foot. Then he kicked this one. This was about a 55-yarder. Then he had the success with that, and he said, okay, that's what I'm going to go with, the 2 black shoes.
I talked to him. I went down on the field, John, just before the game and talked with Morton Anderson. And he said it all had to do with traction. I asked Jim Mora about it, and he said, I just don't talk to him.
I'm sure that no one does. I mean, a guy brings out 2 or 3 pairs of shoes and has 2 black ones, 2 white ones, then he wears a white and a black and a black and a white. But one thing he never changed the whole time, I noticed, was the shoe that he kicks with, his left shoe.
Right.
It all has to do with the right shoe, which is the foot that he has to plant with in order to kick.
Mora said, I don't ask him anything.
Well, when you were a kicker, did coaches ask you anything?
Not.
How about that big one you kicked and you came off the field and Vince Lombardi says, hey, you can't kick it that far.
He probably was right. Keeps getting longer and longer, though.
Yeah, better and better. One thing about kickers, though, no, the other team never talks about him, as you say, except when that kicker is Morton Anderson.
He lines this one in the direction of Dupose again. Again, he bobbles outside the 20, around the corner to the 30. We're getting down to where everything, every play, every pass, every kick means something. The Bears beat Detroit 13-12 on a field goal by Kevin Butler in the last 4 seconds. Green Bay again. They beat the Vikings already. Everyone says the Vikings are the best team in the NFL. Green Bay beat them once, and they're doing it again. Houston over Cincinnati, 41-6. Buffalo 37-21 over the Raiders. The whole thing becomes more muddled, as does Joe Montana. A loss of 5, sacked by Frank Warren.
You know, the interesting thing about that, Pat, as we watch Pat Swilling, number 56, he's going to come from that backside, and no one blocks him. Now, Montana couldn't see that, but he could feel it, so he said, to heck with this. I'm not going to try and throw it and get one of those things where I get hit in the back and the ball goes awry. He just felt Swilling. He knew no one blocked him, so he went down.
The Saints with an extra defensive back in Van Jakes. Montana with time, this time, and the pass is picked off by David Waymer. And Waymer for the Saints back to about the 22. Stopped by Rathman.
Dave Waymer is that veteran that will do things in his zone. You know what he does? He's playing his zone. Watch him back here. He is going to watch. He comes back. He's watching in here at Montana. Then he's able to slide in. He's not playing man-to-man. Let's just let the thing go here, and we'll see it here in the clicker. And you see him as he steps back. You see him there? He lets him go. Then he just rides back in there watching Montana. Sees Montana throw to the inside guy, and he gets a great break on it.
The inside guy was Roger Craig, who was in the slot to Montana's right. First and 10 Saints at the 49er-24. One setback is made. Hebert to the tight end. John Tice. And he picked up 8 or 9, close to a first down.
Yeah, I had the feeling when we were talking to the Saints and just watching them today that they really are confident. You know, they know how big this game is, and really it's a championship game. You get championship fever here, coming off a bad loss, but they had a feeling that they could be successful today against this team.
2nd and 2, and it's Dalton Hilliard. Hit by Jim Fonhorst. Close to a first down, maybe, maybe not.
That's the way you want to get him, the way Fonhorst does. Dalton Hilliard is a very powerful running back, so you have to get underneath his shoulder pads. And you see exactly where Fonhorst came. He came underneath and worked his body, boom, right up. First, you straighten the shoulders up, and then you knock him backwards. That was a perfect hit by a linebacker.
And it stopped Dalton Hilliard short of a first down. 3rd and 1. 3rd and very short. Mays will have the first down at the 10. He got 4.
That was a good field by Reuben Mays. Yeah, if you watch him, he starts out like he's running to the right side. And you watch, he'll start out like he's going to the right side, like the ball is going to go to the right. Now watch this cutback here. He cuts it back. He feels a soft spot in the left side, and that is a great cutback on grass.
1st and 10 at the 10. Mays again, hit behind the line of scrimmage. McKyer was the first man there. This 49er defense, you talk about Montana, you talk about Rice, you talk about Craig, but the real strength of the 49er team in recent weeks has been this defense.
Well, you know, they'd always been basically a 3-man line team. Last week against the Atlanta, they went to a 4-man line, and they had a lot of success with that. I'll tell you, a lot of it starts with their nose tackle, Michael Carter, probably the best in football.
And having a great year. 2nd and 11, Hebert's going to have to throw it, but he doesn't. To Mays. Maybe he should have. Ronnie Lott and Romanowski up to make the stop.
Now remember the first game we did, it was down there in New Orleans, and they had a lot of success with this next situation coming up. That 3rd down here where they go to the 4 wide receivers. Hey, that is perfect defense. See Ronnie Lott coming up, not letting him go to the outside, and then the pursuit coming right down the line. But this is a formation, the first time they played this year, that gave the 49ers a lot of trouble.
Shotgun and Hebert with a snap from Court. Out of there. And down. Here's Holt. Daniel Stubbs. A loss of 10, and now we'll see the field goal team again, and remember this.
Hebert was looking at a shot. Ronnie Lott had great coverage. He jumped in front where Hebert wanted to throw, so Hebert couldn't throw. That was a coverage sack. Then he had to bounce out to the right, and when he did, there was Holt and Stubbs.
This will be Morton Anderson then, with Brian Hansen holding from 40 yards away. Not good.
That was great defense by the 49ers. David Waymer picked off a Joe Montana pass. The defense was put in bad field position, and they went out there and did the job they had to.
And that's twice they've done that. The Saints were able to block a punt first and then get the pass interception, and they only get 3 points.
And usually when that happens early, it comes back to haunt you later.
It sure does. This is Rathman, right side, hit at the 25 by Gethers. He picked up 3 or 4. Pat Swilling was the second man on the scene.
What I love about this last 2 weeks of the season, the intensity just seems to pick up. You can feel it here in the crowd. I mean, there's an energy coming from this crowd that you don't have all the time during the regular season. And the other place you see it is on the defenses. I mean, it looks like they're just firing real live bullets.
Jerry Rice is the man in motion. Montana gets out of trouble. Gets the ball to John Frank. Enough for a 49er first down. He was covered by Vaughn Johnson. The Packers over Minnesota again. Maybe they should play them every week. Green Bay beat Minnesota. Those of you who watched that, welcome to Candlestick Park. Pat Summerall, John Madden. The 49ers and the Saints lead it 3-0.
And that clinches the division for the Bears, that Central Division.
Frank was the man in motion. Here's Craig. High stepping to about the 45, tripped up by Sam Mills. But Craig got 5.
And Sam Mills is one of those guys who is built in a position to hit. The linebacker is only 5'9". And you know, you always say to a hitter, to a linebacker, hey, get low, stay low, work from down to up. Sam Mills, they say he's too short to play. Baloney. This guy can play, but he's built in a hitting position. He walks the street from hitting position.
And he hits. Here is Rathman on second down, stopped for no gain by Vaughn Johnson. On the 49ers sideline, their defensive unit. I was surprised to hear the 49ers, and I think a lot of people would be, John. Talk about the best linebacker in football. You think of Lawrence Taylor. You think of Wilbur Marshall. You think of Mike Singletary. Vaughn Johnson is the guy they talk about.
Yeah, we were talking to Bob McKittrick, the offensive line coach of the 49ers, and he says this guy could be the best linebacker in football against the run.
Montana. Outside to John Taylor, out of bounds. Reggie Sutton was the cover man. There's a flag on the play.
John Taylor is starting today for Mike Wilson. Taylor's a great punt return guy, and he always has that possibility of being a breakaway guy. Here, he was out of bounds. You see what happened here? I think his feet were inbound, but his knees were out of bounds.
Lonzell Hill back deep for Barry Helton's punt. The first one was blocked. Hill at about his own 8. Struggles to about the 12, 45-yard punt. Brent Jones made the stop. So now, John, what you were talking about a minute ago, Minnesota loses to Green Bay. So the Bears have clinched the divisional title. They beat Detroit by a point. And Chicago has the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
And they play in Minnesota. Remember when we did a couple of weeks ago, we did a Bear game, and Mike Ditka and the players were saying one thing, we don't want it to go to that last game. We want to go to Minnesota where it doesn't mean anything, and of course they got that today.
Their wish has been granted. Tice is the man in motion, and Hebert back to throw on first down. Chased back into the end zone. Get rid of it. And he does to Tice. Flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. Hobie Brenner came up with a catch. He and Tice right together, a gain of 7.
Probably a legal man downfield, because what Hebert was trying to do is throw a screen pass to his left. And the 49ers read it, and they all came out here to the left, and then there was no place to throw it. Well, the lineman got downfield, and he had to throw to the right.
Ineligible downfield, number 63 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Red Cashin is the referee. Brad Edelman.
Watch what happens here, Pat. This is the side. Edelman is here. He's going to come down here in a screen. He gets downfield. Hebert wants to throw it, can't, stops and throws it out to this side. But watch what happens. Watch how the 49ers read the screen out here to the right of the screen. You see it there? They're all bunched up. They read it there. Now Hebert has to go the other way, but the guard got downfield in the screen.
So that makes it 1st and 16. 49er players on the field continuously encouraging the fans to help us. Hebert comes out to about the 19. That looked like a busted play. Dallas broke a 10-game losing streak. Washington had 5 turnovers, and the Cowboys beat the Redskins, and that eliminates the defending Super Bowl champions from any sort of playoff possibility. It is tough to repeat.
I think it's impossible to repeat. How about that? The 2 teams that were going for the #1 draft choice, on the other end of it, the Green Bay Packers and the Cowboys both win today.
2nd down, Hebert. Back to the Mays. Mays knocked out of bounds about a yard shy of a first down by Jeff Fuller.
There's a guy who is a heck of a football player, that Jeff Fuller. You don't see them talk about him much, but he is a big guy. He's kind of half a linebacker and half a secondary guy. 6'2", 216 pounds, one of the best athletes in the 49er team. Yesterday in practice, he was wearing pink shoes. Can you believe that?
No.
I caught him in pink shoes, and he said, "Hey, I guess I can't make the All-Madden team on this." I said, "Heck no, you're out. 88 out the gate, you're done." He said, "I'll put the black ones on tomorrow." Then you better.
Which he did.
How can you be a tough guy and wear pink shoes? You kidding me?
On 3rd and short, Hebert just ducks it in there. Maybe he got a first down, and maybe not.
Look at Ronnie Lott up there, number 42. He's pointing. He does some safety work and does a little officiating. Didn't do any good. He said, "Well, I better get back in the huddle and start playing first down." The 49ers saved Lott for this game. He has a hamstring pull, and they didn't play him last week against Atlanta, so he wouldn't irritate it and be ready to play today, because he's really the heart and soul of this defense.
The leader.
Maybe he's the heart and soul of the whole team.
Greg Haywood in the backfield for the Saints, and Hebert quickly incomplete. Intended to Lunzell Hill. He had it and lost it.
I think he lost it partly because Tim McKyer was right there on him. That was really good coverage. One thing about these 49er defensive backs they've done over the years is they know how to arrive about the same time or shortly after the ball, make the hit, and knock it out of there. See how he got there? Got that right hand over and punched that ball out?
That goes back to when Lott, Derek Wright, Carlton Williamson, all of them were rookies. Here's Hebert. Incomplete for Eric Martin. Eric Wright back on the coverage. Back in that Super Bowl year, those Super Bowl years, I should say, John, they all had that knack of arriving just at the right time.
I know, and that was the year that it was so amazing that Bill Walsh took and started 3 rookies in the secondary, and everyone says you can't do that. Of course, they not only did it, but they went on to be the world champion that year.
4 wide receivers this time for the Saints. They lead 3-0 with 1:32 left in the first quarter. Hebert middle, complete, and clearing it from Martin. They'll have to punt.
And one thing, the 49er defense has the answer to that shotgun. They look like they have everyone covered. Every time the Saints have gone into it thus far, the 49ers have covered it perfectly.
Brian Hansen back to punt. John Taylor, dangerous man, back for the 49ers. And they're showing we're going to try to block it, not set up a return. Hansen's kick is not a good one. Taylor at his own 38. Hit down and hit hard by Toy Cook. 40-yard punt. A return of 6, so they net 34. A minute 17 left to play in the first quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden. We're at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where the Saints lead the 49ers 3-0.
There's old Santa Claus. He's getting a little football in before he has to go to work in a couple of weeks. I always knew that Santa Claus would be a football fan anyway. And sometimes I think he's an ex-player. You know, I think Santa Claus, if you look at, I think he used to be a nose tackle.
Yeah, he's built sort of like that.
Yeah, kind of, you know, a little chunky.
Here's Montana. Sidearms it out to Tom Rathman. The Saints have the answer. Ricky Jackson is the answer. Rathman got 3 yards on the completion from Montana. It was great to talk to him yesterday. He said, he said, I feel better than I've felt all year long, which is rare in the 15th week of the season. And he said not being hit for a couple of weeks really helps.
Yeah, that's the biggest friend a quarterback has, is good pass protection when he throws and a good running game.
Second down. Up the middle to John Frank. Frank gets into Saint territory, picks up 13 yards, finally stopped by Swilling. Unanimously, John, they were saying yesterday, the 49ers that we talked to, including Bill Walsh, about the advantage of having John Frank back and his experience and his knowledge of how to get into the seams, how to get open, I guess is what they were saying.
Well, then you add that to it, and he's a good blocker. He's coming off a broken hand. You can see he has it taped up a little, but last week was the first week he played. He had 5 pins put in his hand, and all he's wearing is a little glove on it now.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Saints 3, the 49ers nothing. Back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, Pat Summerall, John Madden. At the end of one quarter, the New Orleans Saints lead the 49ers 3-0. Saints minus 2 yards passing in the first quarter. Still they lead, but the 49ers at the Saints 42 and Montana back to throw it. Chased and down he goes. Dwayne Board, who had so many outstanding years here at Candlestick and with the 49ers, picked up by the Saints. We wish you were still on board, Dwayne. His name was Pee-wee, his nickname.
Well, you know, the 49ers tried to get him through procedural waivers. He was coming off the IR that he had been put on injured reserve, and then to get him back, they had to waive him. They did that, and lo and behold, the Saints claimed him. The 49ers were just trying to get him activated.
And here goes Montana. He was activated. Knocked down by Toy Cook and Dave Weimer.
Well, you know what activated him on the last 2 plays? There was no one open. The play before that, he was going to throw to his left, and then there was no one open. He just took a sack. Here he's trying to throw to his right. Look, he goes to his first read, it wasn't there. He goes to his second read, it wasn't there. So by the time you get off your second read, you better get your hat.
Montana motored for 11, so make it 3rd and 6. Frank and Rice. Here comes Frank in motion. Montana under pressure again. To Rice, and that should be enough for a 49er first down. Stopped by Van Jakes, the extra, the nickel back for the Saints.
Yeah, watch Jerry Rice. He's the outside guy up here. Now he is going to just delay and come underneath. Bill Walsh said two things yesterday. We want to get the ball to Jerry Rice, but we have to be patient and hit the underneath passes. I said, well, how do you get the ball to Rice and hit the underneath stuff? And there's the answer right there.
More importantly, what you said on the NFL Today earlier is Rice is 100% for the first time in a long time. Montana, they fake a reverse. They finally get it out to John Frank. And after all the dancing, they come up with nothing.
Oh, that was a kick, man. John Frank went for the kick. You see that? He went for a double kip on Waymer. He tried to kick his helmet off. Watch him here, the double thing. See? Watch him. Boom, boom. He gets off that. Now Waymer's pointing. Hey, man, the guy can't be down and throw the boots on me. Frank says, hey, anything goes in this game, man. This is a championship game. We're down 3-0. Don't tell me I can't kick.
2nd and 10. The handoff is to Craig, and Craig high steps it. And still going inside the 5 to about the 2. Finally knocked out by Waymer. Only Roger Craig could make that run.
That was an athletic move there. Well, you talk about a guy who explodes and then hits and spins. Watch it here. Hit there and just keeps running. That's the secret. He didn't get low. He didn't use his shoulders, but he didn't let his feet get knocked out of the ground. He just kept those feet going boom, 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 like pistons. And then when they hit him, they didn't knock him anywhere except to his next step.
1st and goal at the 1. Craig got 28 yards. He was on his own. Let him take it in.
Football player. Watch this one here. But he just had that great run before this. Now we all know that he was a hurdler and he can do all this stuff. He just gets up over everything, just keeps those feet and knees going. By the time he comes down, all they have is his right leg and he has a touchdown.
Mike Cofer to try for the extra point. Helton holding. Extra point is good, and the 49ers have the lead 7-3. A great athletic exhibition by Roger Craig. 8 plays for the 49ers, 56 yards. They kept the ball 4 minutes. Craig scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. But this is the run that got him there.
I tell you, watch it here. Here's Craig here, Pat. Both guards are going to pull. But let's watch this run here on the clicker. We started here. Now he wants to get right behind his first guard there. Now make the cut. But watch, once he makes the cut, he has to jump over a guy there. And watch as he gets hit from the side there. He doesn't put his shoulder down, but he keeps his feet going. His feet never stop going. And then he just gets knocked into a spin and then turns and makes that run to the goal line. I'll tell you, that is a great run.
That's that old magic. What a spin he was in. At the 10 is Gene Atkins. Hit down at about the 28-yard line after a return of 17. 7-3. The 49ers over the Saints in the 2nd quarter. Roger Craig over on the sideline just had his right arm, his right forearm wrapped apparently on one of the runs.
Well, you can see it right there, Pat. You can see that he got his arm cut there, and it looked like it opened it up pretty good. So they put a bandage on it. Now they covered it up. Now they're going to put a pad over it.
One of those elastic bandages. That could affect the way he's able to hang on to the ball. Might slip out of there. 1st down Saints. They trail 7-3. Fake by Hebert. He's going deep in the direction of Brett Perryman. And now incomplete. Eric Wright on the coverage. Not incomplete. Yes, incomplete, but intercepted by Eric Wright.
Eric Wright had great coverage on Perryman. Watch him, the outside guy up on top. Perryman is going to come in towards us. Wright just runs stride for stride, closes on him, sees the ball. They're both going to go up for it. Wright gets his hands higher than Perryman does. He out-jumps him.
As you said, great coverage. You can't do it much better than that.
League is sponsored by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. Miller Brewing is the exclusive beer sponsor of today's telecast. Apple Computer, maker of Macintosh personal computers, giving you the power to be your best. And by Pontiac, we build excitement.
Back at Candlestick Park, 49ers 7, the New Orleans Saints 3. Pat Summerall and John Madden with 11:59 left to play in the first half. This is like a playoff game. In fact, in many cases, it is a playoff game. Here's Montana. Wheels it out to John Frank. Frank gets to the 30. Sam Mills on the stop. Frank on the completion from Montana got 9 yards.
You know, the thing that Joe Montana was saying yesterday why John Frank may catch a lot of passes, he said the Saints always play us with a double zone and that they're going to rotate out to both outside receivers and they leave that middle open for you and we can get the outside receivers in there, but John Frank will be doing a lot of work in that area that they leave.
He has already caught 5 passes. Here's Craig. Trying to get outside, lost the ball. And the Saints come up with it again. That's their 3rd turnover.
Now the Saints have to take advantage of it.
Frank Warren made the recovery.
You know what? You watch him, he just knocks the ball. It's in Roger Craig's right hand. They always teach you back to put it in his outside hand. He has it in his outside hand and it's just knocked right out as he turns up.
That's where he just had that bandage put on his right forearm.
Hey, and that was the thing that he was checking before. You're right, he had the cut, and then as Ricky Jackson hit him, the ball just slipped right out against that pad.
Saints ball at the 49er 27. Hebert to Dalton Hilliard, and Hilliard's going deep. DeLonzel Hill, and touchdown. 27-yard touchdown pass from Dalton Hilliard to Lonzel Hill.
I'll tell you, did that quiet this crowd down? 2 big plays. Ricky Jackson steals the ball from Roger Craig. Then they go run pass. What they do on this is they're going to make it look like a run. Hilliard starts out like it's a sweep. He stops, and then Lonzel Hill comes in like he's going to block, and then he backs, goes out to the corner, and Hilliard hits him. You know, Bill Walsh was saying yesterday, he said, I expect some special plays, some trick plays from this guy, stuff that we've never seen before.
Hilliard to Hill. Anderson for the extra point. And the Saints recapture the lead. With 11:05 left to play in the first half, it's the Saints 10, the 49ers 7. To summarize the total offense, 49ers have 106 yards. Roger Craig has 34 yards rushing and the 1 touchdown. And then the option pass from Dalton Hilliard to Lonzel Hill just put the New Orleans Saints back in front with 11:05 left to play in the first half. It's 10-7.
I think the big thing there, Pat, is that the 49ers are really winning every area you can except the area where they've had 3 turnovers. And from those 3 turnovers, the Saints have made 10 points. So it's one of those things that the 49ers are winning all the battles and losing the game.
DuBose and John Taylor back deep for Anderson's kickoff. Again, it's a line drive. And Taylor takes it about 4 yards deep in the end zone, downs it there. John Madden.
Let's watch the touchdown again. Here's Lonzel Hill. Now he's going to come like he's going to make it a block, like he's going in here. They hand off to Hilliard. He's going to come out to here. Tim McKyer sees it. He takes a step, and then Hill will get in behind him. Now watch him here. Hill's the outside guy. You see now he's lulling him to sleep. Now watch McKyer looks in. Now right now he sees a handoff. So he says it's a run. He comes up, and Lonzel Hill gets in behind him. That's the third touchdown pass Dalton Hilliard has thrown in his career.
Rice was the man in motion, and Montana goes in that direction with Jerry Rice. Rice went in motion, started back to the inside, then cut back to the outside, picked up 16 yards.
That's a lot of work for picking up 16 yards. That was kind of a pivot out. He ran and he ran. It's an option route. If you cover the inside, I'm going to go out. If you cover me outside, I'm going to go in. Saints were covering him inside, so he made a pivot, fake to the end, and then boom, went on the out.
Taylor goes to the right this time. Rice comes left. The tight end is John Frank, and he's on the move. On first down, it's Roger Gray. To about the 46, a pickup of 10. Brett Maxey made the stop. Roger Craig is a pleasure to watch.
I tell you, watch Jerry Rice out there. You know, they don't only catch passes. If a wide receiver is going to make any big plays on a running game, he has to block that corner. I'll tell you, Jerry Rice does it. Now, I know he has help out there. I don't know why he needed help on the corner, but he got his guy.
First and 10. 49ers, Montana, play fake. Fires to right. Another first down. Rice was covered by Waymer. He picked up 15. 10-7 the score.
Let's watch this, Pat, on the clicker. Watch the move Jerry Rice makes. He comes in. See here, he's going to sell Waymer that he's going in. Now, right now, Waymer takes a step. Now he has to cross over to get back out. Now, Jerry Rice works back a little to catch the ball. That was a pretty good move. See how he comes in? He sold him that he was going in, and then he went to the back to the outside.
Rice, 4 catches now. Here's Craig again. To the Saint 24. Stopped finally by Mills and Maxey. 9 yards for Roger Craig.
Yeah, these are the guys that we talked about that the Saints have to stop, and they're doing it to him. They have to stop Roger Craig. They got to gang tackle him. They have to get a lot of guys to him. They aren't getting anyone close to him. The other thing they have to do is be able to double Jerry Rice, keep the ball out of his hands. Rice is getting the ball. They're not doing those things, but they have the lead, again, because they have the 3 turnovers.
On first down, Montana. Out to John Taylor. Stopped by Ricky Jackson. Montana takes a look at his number 1 receiver, and if that's not there, he is probably the best at getting the ball to number 2 receiver.
And he said about half the time in Bill Walsh's system, he can throw to his number 1 receiver. The other half, he has to go to 2, and if he has to go to 3 or 4, they can't pass protect that long. But on that last pass, John Taylor, of course, a wide receiver, he was lined up as a tight end. Remember, the 49ers have done that for years, and Dwight Clark did it, and now they did it with John Taylor.
Timeout, and this one is charged to the Saints. Against the Georgetown Hoya. Rathman is the ball carrier here at Candlestick. And that's enough for a 49er first down.
You know, it's interesting as we look at their first 25 plays. We know that Bill Walsh charts or scripts the first 25 plays. Now, he had 9 runs for an average of 6.7 a play, 16 passes. And as he said, he likes to start out and establish the pass early in the game, and then come back with running. He said he didn't think he'd get much running early in the game, but he thought he could run well in the second half.
Here's Craig. Right side, inside the 10, stopped by Vaughn Johnson. But he got 3.
Hey, that Vaughn Johnson's a big guy. I mean, you're talking about a 240-pound inside linebacker with big old arms and legs and shoulders on him. And you know, when these guys hit you, it's kind of the end of the way. If they can get to you, look, they get one. Watch him. When he can come in and put a helmet on him and wrap those arms, that's the end of Roger Craig's running.
2nd and 7. Craig is on the move this time. Sets up in the backfield. That's Brent Jones. Comes out of there in motion. Inside the 5 to about the 3 or 2.5. Knocked out of bounds there by Swilling.
49ers have been using a little 2 tight ends. Brent Jones is in there, and he's kind of a pass receiving tight end. Watch him coming across. He's the guy coming across in motion. Now Montana's looking for him all the way. He has both backs going to his right. His #1 receiver on that pattern was Brent Jones.
That'll bring up a 3rd down situation as the 49ers come up with no huddle. The Saints struggling and scrambling to get people in there on defense. And Montana rolls right and rolls into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Montana didn't want to run that one, Pat. That was a bootleg. He was trying to throw it to Jerry Rice, who was in the right-hand corner of the end zone, and he pumped it, and he pumped it, and he pumped it. He waited all he could. Then he said, to heck with it, man. I got to get in the end zone myself.
Extra point by Kofor is good.
Watch Montana on the fake. Now it's a bootleg. Now watch him. He's looking out there to number 80, Rice. Look, he's trying to hit him. No, pump. And then he's waiting for him some more, waiting. Another pump, another bump. And he said, heck, I'll just take it in myself.
And successfully, and the 49ers recaptured the lead. Plays 80 yards. The 49ers kept the ball 5 minutes. A very impressive drive. Montana finished it off with a 2-yard rollout touchdown. San Francisco leads New Orleans 14-10. Mel Gray back deep. And he'll handle at about the 1. Dragged down finally from behind by Terry Greer. 26-yard return by Gray. We're at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the home of the 49ers, where the host team leads 14-10 with 5:53 left in the first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden in a game that means a lot, and in some cases almost everything for both of these teams.
I'll tell you, the first half here, the Saints have been in the game only by the turnovers. The 49ers are really outplaying them on both sides of the ball.
Dalton Hilliard is split wide to the left this time as Hebert looks at Lonzel Hill in motion. On the reverse to Eric Martin. He is stopped right at the 30 after a gain of only a couple of yards by Kevin Fagan.
Jim Mora is trying to get something going any way he can here. I think that run pass to Dalton Hilliard through to Lonzel Hill was a great call. And I think that, you know, when you talk about coaches in the NFL, I think we have 2 of the best game coaches that there are. 2 of the best organizational coaches in this game.
No doubt about it, John.
I mean, guys that really have control. I mean, you just get a feeling with a Jim Mora that no matter what happens, he's in complete control.
Martin comes in motion this time. Hebert is hit just as he let the ball go by Haley. Lucky that was not an interception and a touchdown, San Francisco.
I tell you, let's watch Michael Carter here, Pat, over the center over court. Watch him when the ball snapped. He just gets everything going. He collapses the whole thing right into Hebert. Hebert didn't have a chance. Here's Michael Carter. He's up to 290, or down to 2. He was 330 pounds. He said, I got my weight down now, and I feel better than ever, and I have better endurance. I can go in the fourth quarter. But you talk about a guy who is explosive and who brings a load. Did you see him explode on that play?
Well, that's what he was talking to us about yesterday. Let's go back and look at that play. There's a discussion going on now with Red Cashin and the rest of the officiating staff.
Watch Carter's first move and the explosion he has here. And he puts that left hand up as a club, and he just runs right through anything that's there. I don't know what they would be looking at because it was an incomplete pass.
Well, maybe what they're considering, John, is that there is a possibility, I think, that it could have been a lateral.
Well, let's look at it from higher then.
It hit Haley in the head, I think.
Oh, I see what they're looking at to see if the ball was a fumble or an incomplete pass. That's what it is. I just saw Michael Carter get in there so quickly, I didn't see what happened there, but that's exactly what it is. Now, the rule on this is the arm going forward with the ball in it. If the arm isn't going forward, then it would be an incomplete pass. I think they're saying that's a lateral.
Based on review by the replay official, the pass was backwards. It will be third down at the 25-yard line.
Oh, then I'll tell you,
Then
the Saints are lucky that they recovered it, because with the lateral, the 49ers could have recovered it. That's the thing that pressure will do. Pressure will make you do some funny things. That time it made the Bears throw the ball away, but he threw it away as a lateral.
And give credit to Carter, and Hebert goes back in that shotgun again. Saints have been able to utilize this well all year long. Here comes the blitz. Outside it goes to Lonzel Hill, covered by Ronnie Lott, and there's nothing doing. A gain of perhaps 4 or 5 yards, but the Saints will have to punt.
Yeah, that was good coverage by Ronnie Lott, the safety. They came on a corner blitz. The corner blitzes. Lott has to go out and pick up his man, and he does it. Now watch, see the corner blitz from the top of the picture? Now Lott has to come over and pick up the guy that Hebert's throwing to. Lott does that, but then after he gets there, he has to get him down. No one better at getting the guy down than Ronnie Lott.
That's pretty much universal. Everybody you talk to says that about Ronnie Lott. A high, good kick. Taylor fair catch at his own 32-yard line, where the 49ers will take over. The Bears have won their 5th straight NFC Central Division title by beating Detroit by a point. And Green Bay again upset Minnesota. That's the 2nd time this year, and they've won the last 4 from the Vikings, who many feel the best team in pro football. They must have been looking ahead.
Well, the other thing I know going into today, that people kind of thought the 2 best teams in professional football were the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC and the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC, and they both lose today.
Patriots kept their playoff hopes alive. Here's Montana, and wide open is Taylor, and he's gone. Kiss him goodbye.
That was the double zone. You watch Sutton is going to bump Taylor, then he lets him go. Then the safety has to come over. Taylor just settles down between the corner and the safety. Montana hits him, and then he runs right through him. That's the thing with that double zone. You can't get deep on it, but you can get between it. And when you hit a guy with John Taylor, who's a great runner after he catches it, that can turn into a touchdown as quickly as beating him deep.
Kofer for the extra point after that 68-yard touchdown reception by Taylor from Montana. And all of a sudden, it's 21-10 in favor of San Francisco.
Let's watch it, Pat. Here's John Taylor. Here's Sutton here. He's going to come up and bump, and Taylor gets by Sutton. The safety has to get over. He just sits down right in here. Montana throws him, and then he runs from there. But let's watch that there, and you'll see the double zone. See it? Now Taylor gets by him now. Now watch that hole in there. See this big hole? That's the hole they hit. So they hit him here. Boom, he runs right by everything else. See the hole there? Montana sees it. Taylor sees it. Whap! And then, of course, then it's just off to the races. Anytime a guy is a punt returner, he's usually a good runner with the ball as a receiver.
So with 3:37 left to play in the first half at Candlestick, it's the 49ers 21, the Saints 10.
I'll tell you right now, you talk about the Minnesota Vikings being one of the good teams, and they lose. The Bears, we know, are one of the good teams. They've clinched their division in the NFC. The Giants look like they're improved, but I think that you can nominate this 49er team, too, as being one of those teams that could be there at the end. I'm talking about the very end, too. I'm not talking about the end being a wild card game or a playoff.
I know what you're talking about, and I think you're right. Hofer's kick. Mel Gray and Gene Atkins back to Mrs. Atkins. And Atkins fumbles at the 20. And out of bounds it goes, and I think the Saints will keep it. They do.
Yeah, we were talking earlier that you can just feel the intensity level rising in this game. You can feel it in the crowd. You can feel it in defense. And I think the other barometer of intensity is special teams. And you see the way those guys were coming down and hitting. I mean, guys in red jerseys were flying down the field.
I think, too, John, you could tell about the 49ers, particularly when they were introduced before the game. You could see that intensity. You could see that dedication right then.
I'll tell you, you could see a heck of a lot of excitement. Those guys were, when they came out on this field today, those 49ers were fired up.
This is Mays, who was almost tripped up in the backfield and is hammered down just short of the 20 by Jim Fonhorst, who's done a good job in the backup role.
Well, of course, he's playing for Ricky Ellison. I think sometimes those inside linebackers in that 49er team don't always get the credit they deserve. Michael Walter is a guy who's been playing great football for him, and he's a guy who leads them in tackles. He's all over, not a spectacular type of guy. Ricky Ellison is the intense guy, and then Jim Fonhorst comes in and plays very well.
As did Romanowski in place of Tina Turner. Second down. Martin in motion. Hebert back to throw it. Gets it up the middle, incomplete, intended for Lonzel Hill. He couldn't hang on. Say, you just watched Michael Carter. They think the 49ers do, as do most teams, that you have to pressure him up the middle, and boy, does he ever do that. That's Mike Kofer, the 49er kicker.
I think he got dinged here on the kickoff pad. He kicked. He's one of the few kickers that after he kicks, he runs down the field. And those kickers can't take many hits. He got kicked in the head by his own guy. Did you see that?
That's a mistake.
What, running down to tackle? They're supposed to kick and run off the field.
Right. Here's Hebert. Gets it up to Martin. He is close to first down yardage. Stopped by Torrey Nixon, a gain of 8. It is a first down, as indicated by Red Cashin.
That was the pattern that they had so much success with in the first game. In fact, talking about the first game, look at how they did. Eric Martin and Lonzel Hill, the two starting wide receivers, caught 7 apiece. The two backup got 5 more. Their wide receivers caught 15 passes.
Greg Haywood, Ironhead, with the carry, 3 yards. And we'll get the 2-minute warning.
This is what they're doing today, and I think that is more the 49er defense. 2 for 8 to the wide receivers. Great coverage by the 49ers.
So a minute 57 left in the first half. 49ers 21-10. Don't forget, next Sunday, the Atlanta Falcons will be at New Orleans. And It all begins with the NFL today at 12:30. The Eagles against the Cowboys, the Giants, Jets, the Meadowlands, Detroit, Tampa Bay. At 4 o'clock, Green Bay and Phoenix. And a reminder too, next Saturday, John Madden and I will be in Cincinnati for the Redskins against the Bengals. 2nd and 6, Hebert. Hand off to Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard with some room early. Saw the darkness in a hurry. Game 3.
I'll tell you, the guy that caused it was Ronnie Lott. He's a free safety. He filled that hole. We were talking to Dalton Hilliard last night. He said Ronnie Lott, he thinks, is the hardest hitter in the league. And they just met on that one.
Timeout San Francisco with 1:51 left in the first half.
It's Ronnie Lott on that one, Pat. He's right here. He reads run here. He plays this thing like a linebacker. He's a safety, but watch him back here. He's going to hit that thing right now. He sees Hilliard with the ball. What does he feel happy about that? Boom! Wow! He hits him and gets him turned sideways and going backwards.
You can see why Dalton Hilliard has so much respect, as do all the other people who play against him for Ronnie Lott.
Well, they say you can get everyone blocked. You get the linebackers blocked, and there's Lott.
Hebert gets it outside. Should be enough first down to Mark Patterson this time.
Hey, Ronnie Lott is a guy that on the pass you have to watch. And Hebert was talking about how he does some strange things and takes some funny bites, and he'll squat and sit in different plays. He just did on that play.
Handoff from Hebert to Haywood. Maybe 2 yards to the man they call Ironhead. He's been out with a bad knee since he had that highlight run a few weeks ago.
I'll tell you, anytime you get a running back in the league who weighs over 250 pounds, I'll guarantee he's going to cause some attention.
He'll get some highlights.
Yeah, and he's bigger than most linebackers, that guy. He's as big as some nose tackles, I think.
On 2nd down, Hebert back to throw, gets out of the pocket, gets it outside to Eric Martin. Stopped by Eric Wright. First down, Saints. A gain of 15 and a first down again.
You know, this could be the best thing that's happening to the Saints, because Hebert was a little shaky. He had a tough game against the Giants. Didn't play well last week against the Minnesota Vikings. Hasn't really had a great start here. The Saints went 8 quarters without a touchdown, and I think he needs some confidence. You know, no matter what, you got to. I think now he's getting where he can get the ball. He's hit his receiver a couple times, wide receiver. That could help going into halftime.
2 tight ends for the Saints lined up on the left. Hebert gives to Hilliard. And Hilliard gets 8 yards. 9 maybe. Stopped finally by Wright. And the Saints take a timeout. They have 1 left with 49 seconds remaining. Morton Anderson getting ready in case he's needed.
And you see, he changed his shoes again, Pat, after he missed that one. Remember, he had on 2 black shoes. Of course, the left one, the black shoe, hasn't changed, but he's taken off the right black shoe and put on a white right shoe now. That's his plant foot. So I'll bet you whether it happened or it's just a figment of his imagination, I bet you he felt that on the one he missed that he slipped with his plant foot.
Amazing. I remember when I first started kicking in the National Football League, they didn't furnish your shoes. That was a graduation gift I got from the university. They gave me the shoes I wore.
Yeah, that way you had to have a square toe in those days.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you see more kickers today and more maybe good kickers, because a kid can start at a young age and he doesn't have to have special shoes to do it. And I get, if they're, that's the advantage of kicking that sideways the way those guys do.
Plus, if you have to have special shoes, somebody will be willing to give them to you.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy those things in a store where they sell relics.
Well, that's what you're working with.
Relics.
2nd down, about a yard. Hebert from the spread goes in a hurry. to Brett Perryman, and that'll be enough for a Saints first down, and they got to hurry. McKyer on the stop.
Well, of course, they can just pick the ball up now that they have a first down. He can just throw the ball down to stop the clock, and that's what he should do because he has enough downs. He doesn't need downs, he needs time. Just throw the ball into the ground.
Screen pass to Hilliard with blockers in front. Hilliard inside the 15. A gain of 9, stopped by Fuller. And now the Saints will take a timeout with 15 seconds remaining. Time for one more play, don't you think?
I would think so, yes. I mean, they have time for at least one more play, but you hate to have to use your last timeout. You like to save your last timeout for your kicking game. And I think this is the situation that Moore is going through now, because now you're forced to throw the ball into the end zone on this down. When you have to throw it, that takes away your run because you don't have any timeouts. 2, it takes away an inside pass because there's no timeouts. And so it forces you to do that one thing.
Which I'm sure they have discussed. Jim Moore and Bobby Hebert right there. You got to put it in the end zone.
And they could be talking about whether they want to go for 1 or go for 2. Remember yesterday in the game down in Phoenix, the Cardinals kind of surprised me, but they went for 1 with 4 seconds, didn't get it, and of course the time ran out on them. So I don't think you can get that close to it. I think if they can get one play and still have 9 or 10 seconds, then I think they can go for a second play.
So Hebert will operate out of the shotgun formation, making sure now that everybody has the snap count and everybody's aligned in the right place. 15 seconds left to play in the first half. Hebert to the end zone. Out of the end zone, caught by Perryman, but about 2 or 3 yards out of there.
That would have been a heck of a play by Perryman if we were in Canada. I mean, he was wide open out there 5 yards outside that end line. He ran a post pattern, and it would have been a great play up there. But that was the only play that the Saints were going to do. They had to throw it. I'm sure they told Hebert, get that ball deep, get it out there where either we catch it for a touchdown or they don't, then we'll kick the field goal.
So Anderson will have a go at it from 32 yards away. Hansen holding. And no good.
I'll tell you, that is a killer for a team on the road going into the locker room with that. You get a drive and you come up empty-handed.
6 seconds left. Let's see if there's anything wrong.
Well, remember, he changed shoes. He changed right shoes, the plant foot. See if that plant foot slips. I don't know. It looked like he came in there sideways. He never looked like he got the plant foot down square.
It did look like it might have slipped just a bit. And so as the half comes to an end, the 49ers lead the Saints 21-10. Saints have had some chances, but they didn't manufacture many points. It's almost impossible to stay atop your emotions, your physical capabilities, whatever it might be, for 16 weeks. It's who peaks when you come down the stretch.
I've always felt that way, that you can't do it, and you kind of play until Thanksgiving to get in position, and then from Thanksgiving till the end of the season, you make your move to get into playoffs.
Kofer's kick goes into the end zone, down there by Gene Atkins. And so the Saints will take over at their own 20. Bobby Hebert's number 3. The Saints have got their work cut out for them now.
Well, I think if they could start off the same way they ended up, I think that they could get some momentum and maybe get some confidence back here, because it looked like at the end of the half offensively, they finally figured things out and were getting something going.
They were getting some people open, and Hebert was able to get the ball to them. Dalton Hilliard, it's split wide to the right. Reuben Mays. is the deep back. Outside Hilliard. Ball knocked loose, and Hilliard dropped it. Hit by Tim McKyer.
You know, as we look at Bobby Hebert's passing by distance, we know that the Saints are a ball control, pass control team. 6 for 7 under 10 yards. 1 for 6 between 10 to 20, not very good. Over 20, 20 to 30, 0 for 1. So you can see all his passes were from the line of scrimmage to 20 yards, and the successful ones only in that 10-yard area.
Second down at 10, Saints from their own 20-yard line. Lonzel Hill is the man in motion. Hand off to Mays, and there's not much to him. First man there was Romanowski. Here's a guy who is great potential, Romanowski, number 53.
Well, you know, they like the intensity that he plays with, and you know, and he's one of those linebackers that has that linebacker look in his eyes, and he walks around fired up all the time. The only thing they worry about is sometimes when he's supposed to cover, he blitzes, or he's supposed to have a zone and he goes somewhere else. As Bill Walsh says, if we can keep him on the right track, this guy's going to be a great linebacker someday.
Hebert back now in a spread formation with Dalton Hilliard to his right. Here comes the 49er blitz, and the ball's loose, and it's an incomplete pass. Haley got a hand on it, and nothing happened.
Darryl Pollard came on a blitz, too. We can see Haley coming straight up the middle. He knocks the ball down, and Pollard was coming 26. It looked like he was the guy who forced Hebert to throw it. Then he went to throw it, and there was Haley right in his face.
Hanson back to punt, and John Taylor, the dangerous John Taylor, back deep for the 49ers. Off the side of his foot. That's classified as one of those things in golf you don't mention, a shank.
I major in it. I'll tell you, the kicking game of the Saints is killing them today. When you get a punter, you finally get there, you want to get something going, you want your defense to play, punt him down there, and the guy shanks it, and that's coming off. Your field goal kicker is supposed to be the best in football, missing 2 in a row. Kicking game has got a flat tire on these guys.
The 49ers have the ball, and they give it to Roger Craig, who's hit behind the line of scrimmage by Ricky Jackson, Montana's book.
But you know, both of these teams have the same type of passing game. Look at how much they do under 10 yards. 9 out of 11 under 10 yards. That's where Montana will do the bulk of his passing. He was a little more successful, 10 to 20, 4 for 7. You see, and then nothing over the 20 yards. So again, the same type of thing from the 20-yard line passing, and then most of it in the 10-yard line area.
Montana fakes to Craig, and he's going deep, and nothing there. It was intended for Rice. Of course, just to amplify what you were talking about, the one big pass play that Montana hit to Taylor was only about 8 yards in the air, and Taylor broke it.
Well, that was against that double zone, and Taylor sat down between the rotating corner and safety and hit that thing out there. You know, there's a conversation you'd always like to hear, linebackers. You see the linebackers, the linebacker coach talking there. They're all talking at the same time. I got this guy, I got that guy, I'll hit him, I'll get him, let me go, let me blitz.
And if anything goes wrong, the first question is, where were you?
What happened? What'd you see?
Here's Montana. Taylor incomplete. Montana was under pressure, and the 49ers unable to take advantage of their break after the bad punt.
Ricky Jackson made a couple good plays on that drive. He was the guy that got in there and stopped Roger Craig on that run, and he was the guy on that last play who put the pressure on Joe Montana.
That's Lonzel Hill, who will, if the punt is not deep enough, attempt to return it for the Saints. Barry Helton is back for the 49ers, trying to gun it out of bounds, and does. 12:59 now left to play in the third quarter at Candlestick Park. And the score, the 49ers 21, the Saints 10. A must for both. Don't forget, next Saturday in Cincinnati, Saturday this is, on CBS, the Redskins at the Bengals. The NFL today begins at noon, and then the game starts at 12:30, and then after that, college basketball returns to CBS Sports. Live at 3:45, it's the DePaul Blue Demons battling the Georgetown Hoyas. Hebert on first down gives to Hayward. And he might have gotten 2 yards, stopped by Jim Fonhorst again.
I say that those inside linebackers are really doing a job for the 49ers. Let's watch Jim Fonhorst here. And he's playing over the guard now. So he's watching the guard, the center, and the backs. The guard starts down, he starts down. Then he picks up the back, and he sees Ironhead coming in there. Boom, he stops and goes back in and makes a tackle.
2nd and 7. I think, John, if you went anywhere and nobody had on a uniform and you looked at one of those individuals, you'd know who the linebackers were from their eyes. Here's Hebert to Hayward. Nothing there. Incomplete. Other scores in the event, you might have just joined us. The Bears beat Detroit, won their 5th straight divisional title. Green Bay again surprisingly over the Vikings, 18-6. Houston annihilated Cincinnati. Buffalo over the Raiders. The Giants with Joe Morris again running and leading the way beat Kansas City. New England over Tampa Bay, and the Rams are leading. That game still in progress, 19-0. That game also still in progress, 14-0. Pittsburgh over San Diego. Here's Hebert on third down. For Perryman, incomplete. Tim McKyer, excellent coverage.
I'll tell you right now, it looks like the 49er defense has frustrated this Saint offense, and I don't necessarily think that it started here. I think it started with that last drive before the half. I think that they really, on that drive, when they missed that field goal, I think that took a lot of wind out of their sails.
Hansen back to punt. Taylor deep for the 49ers. 12:08 left third quarter. 49ers leading 21-10. This is a good kick. Taylor at his own 38. On his knees and then up. And out of bounds at about the 46-yard line, where San Francisco will take over. A 41-yard punt, 7-yard return. 49er 1st and 10 with 11:57 left to play in the third. Tackle for the 49ers. He's done a good job of late. Here's Montana. Out of bounds after a pickup of 9 yards.
Let's just see how the 49ers distributed their passes in the first half. They always move the ball around well. 11 times to the wide receivers, 1 to 3 for the running backs. Usually throw it more, but here's where they picked it up. Look, you wouldn't expect that with the 49ers, but I think that's been the big difference in that first half pass with John Frank coming back, that they went more to their tight ends than they normally do. 49ers over the years have been a wide receiver and running back pass receivers, not a tight end.
2nd and 1. Rathman, first down, San Francisco at the Saint 40. Stopped by Antonio Gibson. Rathman got 5.
You know, one of the things Joe Montana said, he said, I'd like to get the ball more to Rathman. He said, you know, he's a good blocker. We know all that, but I think that he ought to carry the ball more. Look at this guy. I mean, he looks like a fullback. Look, he got that face that kind of looks like it's chiseled. You know, he got some stuff chiseled in there. That short haircut, the thing. He's the old football type, the old fullback type out of Nebraska. You know, that kind of guy, corn-fed and all that stuff.
They compare him to one of the outstanding players they had here, Ken Willard. Here's Montana, and he gets it to Craig. Craig to about the 36. Stopped by Mills.
Roger Craig has trouble keeping his socks up. Have you noticed that in games that after he goes for a while, he always gets hit so hard his socks get knocked off? I mean, you know, that he doesn't really, he has a great body. I mean, he has big old muscles and stuff on him, big old thighs there and stuff, but his calves have a hard time keeping those socks up.
I think it's those high steps.
Well, yeah. I mean, the knee goes high and the sock goes down, I think.
That's his first pass reception today. Here's Craig again. And Roger Craig, right side, stopped by Dave Waymer. And Antonio Gibson gets down inside the 35, a pickup of 2.
Yeah, they were telling Roger Craig the other day that where these Saints are going to be after you, they're really going to hit you. You're going to get hit a lot. And he said, yeah, I know it. What's the difference? Every game I play, I get hit a lot. He said, you can't hit any harder than hard. So what does it mean? I mean, I go the night before a game. I know that I'm going to get hit a lot the next day, no matter who I play.
Well, he's been hit 32 times so far today as a blocker, ball carrier, receiver. Third down. Montana gives to Ratman, and he gets enough for a 49er first down before he's tripped up by Jakes.
Hey, that's a draw play. Now watch how they're going to take Frank Warren, number 73, out. On a draw play, you invite him up the field like it's a pass play. You make him get out like it's a rush, like he's going to rush the passer. Then the center, Randy Cross, comes back right at the end, just knocks him out farther, and then the draw play to Rathman goes inside of him.
Candlestick Park in San Francisco, the home of the 49ers, and the hosts lead 21-10. This is Craig again, right side, maybe 2 or 3. Jumpy Gathers on the stop along with Ricky Jackson. If the 49ers continue as they are right now, leading 21-10, and the Rams beat Atlanta as they are right now, the only way the Saints can make the playoffs is if they beat Atlanta next week, Philadelphia loses, and the 49ers then beat the Rams in the final game of the season.
I think if the Saints are going to think they're in the playoffs, they better start winning some games. I mean, they lost to the Giants and lost to Minnesota. If they lose again, that's 3 in a row.
Vaughn Johnson stops Roger Craig this time.
You look at Bubba Paris in there. He was beaten out this year by Steve Wallace. In fact, the 49ers took him out of training camp and they sent him to one of those hospitals to lose weight. And he went there and he lost some weight, and he changed his eating habits and that whole type of thing. And now he's back, and he's been playing some in each of the last 3 games, and they say that he's playing better now. I've always thought Bubba was pretty good. I really did.
He's down to 306.
Well, I mean, he could have tipped those Toledos at 3.5 a couple months ago.
At least. Rathman was the ball carrier. I don't know what, I just heard I'm sure you did, a real explosion.
Yeah, and I don't see any cannon down on the field either. I mean, something really did explode in this place.
Tell you what, I just lost some weight.
Yeah, everyone's looking around for it. It's not on the field. They're in the stadium. It must have been outside the stadium.
Here is Kofer, the 49er place kicker who kicked for the Saints during the replacement games last year, going for the field goal, and that's far enough and good enough. 40-yard field goal by Kofer is perfect. And so with 6:50 left to play now in the third quarter, the 49ers 24, the Saints 10. 6:50 left, third quarter. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Candlestick Park, San Francisco. 24-10. The 49ers lead the Saints. Kofer's kick handled by Atkins, and he doesn't make it back to the 20. 16-yard return, and so the Saints will take over from there. 49ers just got a 40-yard field goal from Kofer. 9 plays, 32 yards, 5 minutes, 7 seconds. They kept it. I think John Madden is so correct when you talk about the good teams and you look at the scores earlier today and see what happened in Minnesota, see what the Giants did. You certainly have to consider this 49er team as one of the best, one of the elite right now.
And one thing about the 49ers, when they are their best, is when their defense plays well, and they look like they're playing well now.
Hebert hit just as he lets it go to Eric Martin.
I think Hebert's hurt on that play. Although he got up, and he really took a shot, Pat. Ooh.
Just as he let it go, somebody really unloaded. I think that's one of the things that you talk about sacks. Now, this won't be statistical information, but it still hurts.
I'll tell you, he takes a shot as he's opened up right after he throws the ball. That was Kevin Fagan, the right defensive end, who hit him. You say that doesn't show on a stat, but that sure takes a lot out of a quarterback. Makes him go that next play to go back to a running play so that he can get the cobwebs out.
He went to Dalton Hilliard, who got 9 yards over the left side.
It was one of the things that the Saints wanted to do today, is get back to their running game. They've gotten away from it. And of course, last week against the Minnesota Vikings, they had to. Heck, they were down 31-0 before the halftime, but they have a good running game.
2nd and 1. This is Hilliard again. He gets enough, apparently, for a first down before he's stopped by Michael Carter.
Did you see what happens when you run into Michael Carter?
You go backwards.
I know, you talk about it, guy. You see his right arm. We were talking to him yesterday, and I look, and he got 2 big old arms on him, but that big old right arm looks bigger than the left arm. Watch him, 95. He just comes in here, and stuff starts going backwards when you run into Carter. But if you look at his arm, don't you think the right one was bigger?
Yeah.
Looked like a tree trunk or something hanging out of there.
When he was in college, he was in the Olympic Games as a shot putter. And it looks like he might still be able to do something with that right arm. Hebert this time gets it outside to midfield to Eric Martin. And he got 9 before he stopped by Eric Wright. Here's a guy, 78 receptions, new Saints single season record. I mean, we saw him a couple of years ago and last year, and you never thought that he was going to achieve this kind of thing, but he has, and he's played very well.
Well, I know that even Jim Mora, he said when he came there, he thought that he was okay, but he didn't think he was anything like he is, and he said he just keeps improving every game.
Hilliard left side might have the first down. Again, it's Michael Carter who brings him down.
Yeah, you talk about a guy with big legs, that Dalton Hilliard. You know, he's a very powerful guy. He's only 5'8", but look at the legs. In fact, he says he can't even buy pants. He has a 32 waist, but to get pants that fit around his thighs, he has to buy like 36 waist. So then you got the big old baggy pant around your waist to fit your leg. And then if you get it to fit your waist, you can't get it up around your leg. So I said he doesn't even worry. He doesn't even buy clothes anymore.
3rd and short, and Hebert goes quarterback sneak. Flag on the play. He might have gone too soon.
I think the left guard, Brad Edelman, went too soon.
Number 72 on the offense. Still 3rd down.
Dombrowski, the left tackle.
There's the left tackle. It was the left side. Poor old Dombrowski. They get the first down, and Dombrowski left a little early. Dombrowski was the guy, remember in the Washington Redskin game, he was the guy that Dexter Manley spit on. And then it was after a first down, and then Dombrowski hit Manley, and they give him a penalty.
I think that's cause for hitting.
Yeah, you can't let a man spit on you.
3rd down now and 6. Only 2 penalties in the game so far, both against the Saints. Here is Hebert to Martin. Martin to the 49ers 35. Ball comes loose, but he was down and stopped by Torrey Nixon. A pickup of 20.
Hey, it looked like Jeff Fuller is the guy that comes in and bumps him. I don't know if Torrey Nixon was ever going to tackle him. He beats McKyer there. Now watch, he goes upfield. Now here comes Torrey Nixon, 20. but whap, here comes Fuller as the guy finally said, hey, that's enough of you, Martin.
1,000-yard receivers in the history of the Saints. Wes Chandler, Danny Abramowitz, who had so many great years, and now Eric Martin. Hilliard and Hayward are the running backs behind Hebert. Fake to Hilliard. Hebert to his tight end, John Tice. It'll be 1st and goal, Saints, covered by Ronnie Lott after a pickup of 28.
That was a great throw. Watch John Tice. Michael Walter, 99, is going to be running with him there. Watch him stride for stride. How does he get that ball in there? He got it right by Walter's left hand. You're talking about zipping it by a defender. That was something. Watch him play fake, then a waggle. Pretty good great coverage by Walter, and Hebert slipped it in there.
It's often been said, John, that if the ball is thrown perfectly, no defender can stop a pass. That was a perfect throw, as you pointed out. Hebert, touchdown Saints. To Greg Scales, and New Orleans moves closer.
Greg Scales is the rookie 3rd tight end of the Saints. Hebert was trying to go outside. He wasn't trying to throw it to Scales. Watch him. He's looking out to his left. He's looking. Can't find anything. But look at that big hole in the middle. Now that allows him to come back and find Scales in there. He was trying to throw to his outside receiver to the left.
Eric Martin.
But the pass protection made a big gap for him in the middle, and that's how he saw Scales.
And so here is Anderson on the extra point. Good. And it's 24-17 now. 49ers leading with a lot of time left. 1:25 left, 3rd quarter. Hebert touchdown pass. Back at Candlestick Park, where the Saints have just scored again to make it 24-17 San Francisco. Next Saturday in Cincinnati, the Redskins face the Bengals. That'll be followed by college basketball here on CBS. DePaul against Georgetown. 3:45 Eastern Time right now. Candlestick Park, San Francisco. Pat Summerall, John Madden. Doug Dubose is number 25, and Anderson's kickoff sails in his direction. Room for a moment. Cut down at about the 26.
Let's watch that touchdown, Pat. Here's the guy he's trying to throw it to, but watch, that's Eric Martin. He'll be covered there. Then he's going to find a big hole. He steps up and finds Scales in here. But let's watch it on the clicker. See him trying to throw to the left? He's looking out to his left. Good coverage out there on Martin. So now he stops, and look what he sees there. He sees that hole there, and then in the end zone between that hole is Scales. So that was something there by Hebert to be able to look to the left, come off it, but he had good pass protection. That's why he could get it to Scales.
That's Doug Dubose, who's down for the 49ers. Stubbed his toe.
I don't know, that maybe something didn't lock, you know, maybe. Yeah, it looked like, even before he went down, it looked like his knee locked on him, like he was running. Maybe made a cut, but it looked like his knee locked on him. 3rd member of that Cornhusker connection, Doug Dubose. He, Rathman, and Craig, all from the University of Nebraska. I think it's right there, Pat. Yeah. I think when he planted his left foot, I think his knee locked on him. And it was before the cut. It was before any contact or anything. But you saw when you could see when he put that left foot down, it looked like a jarring, locking thing in the left knee. First down, San Francisco, and Montana back to throw it. Gets it outside Rice. Dave Waymer on the stop. Joe Montana knocked down as he let it go, but a gain of 7 to Jerry Rice. You know, when the 49er offense is doing a good job of blocking Pat Swilling. Now that's something new with Jerry Rice, that visor. You're seeing more and more of that in the NFL, but it's usually linemen and guys. You don't see very many receivers doing that. And I don't know that there's any other receiver. I don't know how they can see the ball.
What if it rains? For a gain of 6, stopped by Ricky Jackson, but enough for a 49er first down. You see time ticking down in the third quarter, less than 30 seconds to go. 49ers 24, Saints 17. First down, San Francisco at their own 41. There's Doug Dubose.
Well, they're over there. It looks like they're going to check his left leg, and before they can check it, they're cutting the tape off it.
So that's the end of the third quarter with the score. San Francisco 24, New Orleans 17. We now pause for a word from your local station. 49er first down. Montana fakes Craig, gets it outside to him. Craig danced away from one tackler and finally is knocked out of bounds by Mills. A gain of 4. Word on Doug Dubose, who hurt himself on that kickoff return, is that he has a sprained left knee and probably will not return.
Well, you know, that's not a very good sign for Doug Dubose or the 49ers. You remember when he was a highly touted player out of Nebraska and he had a very serious knee injury. In fact, because of the knee injury in college, he wasn't even drafted. And the 49ers signed him as a free agent.
Second down, 7. Montana fires complete right. He juggled it, but hung on. Stopped by Reggie Sutton.
Yeah, he's just so good. It looks like he can wear gloves or not wear gloves, wear a mask or not wear a mask, wear anything, and he can still get it. You know, I mean, he can bobble it and snap it and get it off. This guy here is a very fluid wide receiver. Remember one time we talked to him, and his hands are so big that they look like 2 catcher's mitts. And
really
you wonder how those hands could ever miss a pass.
Here's Craig. He rambles to the Saint 32-yard line, a gain of 13. Ricky Jackson and Sam Mills, but Craig on the counter play that the Redskins made so famous when they had Riggins. And since then, George Rogers, watch them both pull.
I love to see that. Watch the right tackle, Harris Barton. He's number 79. He's going to be the first guy there. He's the guy who gets the block right there on Vaughn Johnson. And that was the block that let Craig get through it. But I like to see those big old tackles pull and lead up through holes.
First down, San Francisco at the Saint 32. Again, it's Craig. Same play, other side. They catch it from behind. Pat Swilling does. This is what's happened to that play as people have gotten used to it. They catch it from the backside.
You know, let's watch Harris Barton here. He's number 79 right here. And I'll tell you, I think he's becoming one of the best tackles in the league. Watch the block he makes here. Boom in. Now turn him. Now turn him. Get those hips around. Turn the hips out. You see, now you get him square. Now that's what creates a hole. I saw him yesterday in the locker room. He was checking both his shoulders to see if they work, to see if he can lift his arms up.
Second 7.
If you're fighting an NFL tackle.
Montana has to dump it. Intended for Rice. He was chased by Pat Swilling again from the backside. Didn't see him coming, but heard him.
Joe Montana is probably the best at that. If I knew he didn't have any of those rear view mirrors on, I would believe he did. Watch Swilling coming from the backside. Now you say, how does he know? How does he always know that there's someone there to get rid of the ball or to go down to take a sack or to run out of there? I'll tell you, I think since he's had that back operation, he can probably feel his backside better than anyone can.
Here's Craig. Hit by Wilkes and Ricky Jackson right at the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1, maybe. 62,977 here at Candlestick today. The second highest attendance ever.
Well, and that second highest attendance ever just let out a big boo on that one, wondering why on third down, the 49ers didn't throw the ball.
Field goal unit on for San Francisco. Kofor and Helton, the holder, 47 yards away. This is right at his capacity, his range. Got it. And so the 49ers lead by 10. 11:53 left.
Where the fun starts.
Morton Anderson, supposedly the best, has missed twice. Joe Montana, 17 out of 25 for 215 yards, the one touchdown to Taylor. And Roger Craig having another good day, has rushed for 87 yards and scored a touchdown. 49ers lead by 10, 27-17. And what about the Saints, and now what do they have to do?
Well, I think the thing, that field goal just put them down by 10, so now they need 2 scores, but I still feel they have to be patient. I don't think they can get the feeling they have to come in, they have to panic, they have to try and get it all on 1 or 2 plays. If I were them, I would methodically work the ball, take a field goal or a touchdown, and then save that last one and try and win the game at the end.
They have 11 minutes and 53 seconds left to go to work. Hofer's kick for Atkins. Drops it at about the 3 and now tried to come out. Doesn't make it back to the 10-yard line. Greg Cox was the first man there. Mishandled by Atkins, and it cost.
I think the big thing here now, when you're backed up there on the 10-yard line coming out, again, 11 minutes 41 seconds is plenty of time to get 2 scores. The worst thing that can happen to the Saints right now is a turnover.
They're in a position where they don't have to throw from panic quite yet.
But sometimes teams don't realize that, though, especially on the road. The crowd magnifies everything.
Hebert gives to Dalton Hilliard. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Romanowski.
Hey, that was a big play by Bill Romanowski. If he doesn't make that play, Hilliard had some distance there. He could have made a play out of that. Romanowski not only filled the hole, but he made a good tackle. Watch 53. He's up on top there, takes on the block, goes for his legs, jumps up, takes on another blocker, and makes the tackle in the backfield. That was a heck of a play by any linebacker, let alone a rookie.
2nd and 11. Perryman comes in motion, and Hebert looks left. Outside to Eric Martin, who got the ball and lost it. And let's see. 49ers have it. McKyer made the hit, and Eric Wright made the recovery.
And that was a play that can put the Saints out of this whole thing right there. You see McKyer comes up, makes the hit. Fuller's there. There's Eric Wright. He's going to end up with it. Right underneath the bottom of everything. That's Eric Wright is 21. He's the first guy there. Fuller is the second guy there. And then the ball just bounces right up into Eric Wright. Rolls right up his stomach.
1st and goal for the 5. Here's Roger Craig. Hit down behind the line of scrimmage, and a flag on the play. I think it's going to be a face mask against the Saints' Pat Swilling.
I would agree with that. Usually when you see a head snap back like that, it usually is a face mask. The way the Saints are going, they're saying that it's holding against the 49ers.
Holding. Number 77 on the offense. Face mask. Number 56 on the defense. Penalties all set. We'll replay 1st down.
First penalty against the 49ers today. And they offset. It's against Bubba Paris.
Well, Bubba Paris is up there at left tackle. Right there, 77. It looked like he had a handful of jersey and then grabbed a leg as he was going down. You see 56 Swilling grabbed a face mask of Craig.
Here's Craig again. On first and goal, Antonio Gibson stopped him after a gain of 2.
One thing about this Saint defense, if you look at that last play, there were 11 white jerseys on or around that pile. I think when you get down inside the 10, these guys play as well as anyone. And you talk about everyone flying to the ball, they do. And that's why I think they're susceptible to play fake, where you fake the run and bootleg or something like that. Because the first thing they see, they're flying to it.
And we might see one of those bootlegs right here. Second and goal from the 3. Montana out of the end zone, just threw it away. Faced by Swilling.
This could be a big down here for the Saints, because if they can stop the 49ers, force them to kick a field goal, they can still beat them with 2 touchdowns. If the 49ers get a touchdown, then that'll put them 10 and 17, where they need 3 scores. So this could be a big play. Be the difference in the Saints possibly being still in this game with a chance and being as much out of it as you can get with 10 minutes to go.
A lot of work goes into a season to have it come down to this, which basically it has. They give to Rathman, and there's nothing there. Jumpy Gathers made the stop after a gain of 1, and they have to go for the field goal now. Montana's already started to walk off the field.
That's the second time that's happened to the 49ers. They got down there and they had to settle for a field goal. They ran the ball on 3rd down and didn't get the 1st down. Running a trap to Rathman in there. I tell you, there was nothing there. Brett Maxey hit that thing. Rathman really didn't have a chance.
Kofor is hit twice from 40 and 47, and now will try from about 20 yards out. His predecessor, Ray Wershing, would never look up at the goalpost. He always looked down at the holder and the hash marks. Never looked. Kofor's changed that. And he's hit twice already. He's hit 3 times. Remain, and it's the 49ers 30, the Saints 17. Back at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, it's the 49ers 30, the Saints 17, and again the 49ers lead holds up, and the Rams beat Atlanta, and the only way New Orleans can make the playoffs if they beat Atlanta next week, and Philadelphia loses and the Rams beat, but the 49ers beat the Rams. That's Mel Gray. Stopped by Sam Kennedy. The Rams shutting out Atlanta at the moment in Anaheim, 22-0. Setting up that showdown next week. 49ers again working on the right arm, the right forearm of Roger Craig.
You know, he had a big cut on there, and they had to put a bandage on it, and then they're going to tape over that. And it's not the cut, I don't think, that bothers much, but it's the bandage they put there, and that's the area where you hold the ball in your right hand, and he had 1 fumble as a result of that.
Hebert to Hilliard. Romanowski again. What a find he's been.
Hey, he's having a big day today. He's been playing that side. Everything they run at him, he's not only been there, but he's made good tackles. Hilliard's going to start here to the left. You see, the play is designed to come out here. Jeff Fuller comes out. They force him to the backside. Romanowski was going off to the backside. He saw the run coming, and 1, not only sees it, but 2, gets up there, and 3, makes a good open field tackle.
2nd and 7. Hebert back to throw it. Forced out of the pocket. Gets it outside to Lonzel Hill. Close to a 1st down. Stopped by Fuller. San Francisco clinches a wild card and a spot in the playoffs if they hold on and win this game today.
And And then to win the division, of course, they'll have to beat the Rams next week because the Rams are winning today. But I think that the Saints dodged a little bullet down there by not having the 49ers score because, again, now they only need 2 scores. Now, that's easy for me to say, but at least 2 scores they could win this game. Had the 49ers scored, they would have needed 3.
8:23 remain. Hebert fakes to Hilliard. Outside to his tight end, John Tice. That'll move the sticks. Enough for a first down. Tice stopped by Ronnie Lott, a gain of 7.
We'll watch John Tice here. He comes in like he's going to make a block. He starts on Fagan, works to the inside, then goes back to the outside. You talk about 2 determined guys going. There's Romanowski and Lott. That was Tice. He was the guy that caught the ball, but he had 2 Bulldogs chasing him.
First down, Saints. Hebert to Lonzel Hill in 49er territory to about their 45. Another first down for the Saints, stopped by Jim Funhorst.
A heck of a catch by Lonzel Hill. That ball was thrown to one side of him and high, and he was able to come back, get twisted, and catch that thing.
They won't waste much time in the huddle now because that clock, everything in bounds, continues to run. First and 10 New Orleans at the Saint 40 at the 49er 45. Hebert, pass almost intercepted by Mike Walter. Had a hand on it, got a chance to get the rebound and lost it.
Yeah, I think these 49er linebackers have played superb today. You not only take Walter, we've talked about him, but you take Romanowski, the job he's done outside, the job that Jim Funhorst has done inside. I think that the strength of their defense today has been those guys.
No question about it. And the supportive secondary as well with Fuller and Lott. Second down, 10. Hill was the man in motion. Hebert gets it out to Lonzel Hill. Not enough for a first, but inside the 40. Pickup of 8. Fuller made the stop.
Yeah, if you look at the tackles today, the 49ers, their defensive linemen have made 11 tackles. Those linebackers have made 18 tackles, and the secondary has made 21. That's pretty good distribution. It's too many tackles for a secondary normally. When you have guys like this, like Jeff Fuller and Ronnie Lott, it's not, because those guys are half linebackers.
49ers going with 4 down linemen now and trying to put the heat on Hebert. They do. Stubbs was there. The pass is caught by Eric Martin. It looks like it's going to be close to a first down. Very close.
It's right at that marker over there. Hebert knew where it was, and Martin knew where it was. I think if they don't have it, they have to go for it on 4th down because they need 2 touchdowns. But that is about as close as you can get. You see, that's where he catches it right there, and that you see the foot right now is right on the line. So then you have to go to where he was tackled.
Looks like it's going to be, speaking of feet, foot, whatever, looks like it's going to be about a foot short of that first down.
Yeah, I would say once he caught it, it looked like he caught it short of the first down and then came back, so I don't see that there's any way it could be a first down.
Red Cashin agrees with you. Hebert got away from a heavy rush by Daniel Stubbs. And you're right, they got to go for it.
And I think Hebert better quarterback sneak. You know, there's hardly any way that they can stop you if that's all you have to go. If you run, they can get penetration. Hebert's taking a timeout.
He just walked away. He saw what he didn't like and used a timeout to talk to head coach Jim Mora. 30-17, 6:27 left to play. Pat Summerall, John Madden, 6:27 left to play at Candlestick Park. Head coach Jim Mora of the New Orleans Saints. 4th down and inches. The Saints just used a timeout. And I'm still, John, not sure Who called the timeout? It looked as if it were called from the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think it was Bobby Hebert because Dalton Hilliard signaled timeout first, and then Hebert called it walked off. So I bet it was called in from the sideline.
They need about a foot.
I still think it's a quarterback sneak.
I don't know. They'll have to measure it again without doubt.
I don't know, but how do you spot that one? I mean, that's the thing. Where do you know to put the ball? Look at that line judge there. See, he has his left foot down. I don't know if he spotted it. Who said where the ball was? That's the question.
This is going to be very, very close.
49ers are pointing one way. The Saints are pointing the other way.
Get it done.
Here's the play again. He only has inches to go. The tough thing about the quarterback sneak, Michael Carter is right in there in the middle. He is trying to go outside of Carter, but Jim Fawnhorst is the next guy there, number 55. I don't know if he made it, but if he did, I'd give credit to Carter and then credit to Fawnhorst. Maybe in the reverse order.
Maybe. 49ers have the ball, however. Montana going right to work and going deep and got somebody open. Ooh, he had Jerry Rice with 4 or 5 steps away from Reggie Sutton.
I don't know if the icing has been put on the cake yet, but if it hasn't, that sure would have done it. I don't know how he could see out of that thing. I really don't. This guy's amazing. Those are for linemen and tackles and, you know, big old guys playing in the pits where guys are sticking fingers in their eyes. I never thought they were for wide receivers. Jerry Rice may be making a new statement here. Maybe eventually we'll see all the backs and ends using them.
I can't believe that.
Well, maybe he makes some great catches. Everyone thinks if I wear one of those, I can catch like Rice.
That was Craig over the right side, stopped by Vaughn Johnson. Now to Brent Busberger, NFL update.
Well, Pat, Atlanta's offense couldn't score on the Rams, nor could the defense. So it took the special teams. A bobbled punt on the return by the Rams, and Mr. Tuggle scoops it up. He's got a touchdown. But the Rams are really dominating, 22-7. Let's go back to Pat.
And at Candlestick, the 49ers apparently are very much in command and setting up their final meeting next week against those Rams for the NFC West Championship. Third and 7. Montana flushed out of the pocket. For Taylor, incomplete and out of bounds. Other scores, finals. Bears by 1 over Detroit. Green Bay upset Minnesota again. Houston annihilated Cincinnati. Buffalo 37-21 over the Raiders. Giants beat Kansas City. Dallas upset Washington. New England beat Tampa Bay in overtime 10-7. The Rams dominating Atlanta 22-7. San Diego 17, Pittsburgh 14, fourth quarter. Third down for the 49ers. Fourth down, beg your pardon. Good kick. Oh, Gray handled. Good coverage by San Francisco. Mike Walter, first down. And so the Saints will take over deep in their own territory. Next Sunday begins with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time. Atlanta will be at New Orleans. Philadelphia goes to Dallas, a must for the Eagles. Giants, Jets. It's a Jet home game, although they both play at Giants Stadium. Detroit goes to Tampa Bay. Green Bay visits Phoenix. Santa Claus, we hope, comes to town.
Well, we'll be there doing a wild card game someplace the day after Christmas on the 26th. My vote would be that it'll probably be in Minnesota.
Here's Hebert back to throw. To Lonzel Hill. Mike Walter tripped him up after a pickup of only 3 yards. Jim Fonhorst came over to make the assist. And the clock now running out on the Saints. Hebert in a hurry. Hand off to Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard, a punishing runner. Hits Eric Wright and Jeff Fuller.
I'll tell you, he hit Jeff Fuller. Jeff Fuller is a big, tough guy. And Dalton Hilliard is one of the toughest guys to tackle in this league. And he says what he tries to do is get the guy off balance a little and then explode. Now watch him. Fuller's going to come up. He's 49. Now watch Hilliard explode into him. He knocked old Fuller right on his back. That is explosion.
Just over 4 minutes remain. The pass intended for Tice. The coverage by Fuller again.
Hey, Fuller didn't like that. He was embarrassed when you take a guy like him, and he's a policeman type of guy, and the guy runs over him. That didn't make him too happy. He said, I've had enough of that. So he goes and knocks one down. He's having a good day today, Jeff Fuller. He may make that all-Mad team. He was wearing those pink shoes yesterday, pink sneakers. No way. In fact, I think on that tackle against Hilliard, he hurt himself. You see, Lott just pulls the arm out and starts shaking it like that'll help it. You don't need doctors, those guys.
2nd and 10, Hebert. Intended for Perryman. Under pressure again from Carter and Kevin Fagan. The old bash act invented by the Oakland A's.
Oh, they don't even know what's going. Those guys, they're looking the wrong way. They probably celebrating. They probably made some kind of stupid bet or something. Talk about a guy with some arms. See that Fagan? That guy has some hooks hanging out of there. Got some guns.
From the shotgun is Hebert. Incomplete. Intended for Lonzel Hill, knocked down again by Fuller. He's one of those guys who's sort of half defensive back, half linebacker, mostly hitter.
Yeah, but you know, he's getting a lot better on the pass coverage. I mean, he was a guy who was very good at hitting. I mean, that came instinctively. You watch just how he hits the ground there. I mean, up, down, up, down. I mean, he has that move down, but he really didn't have the coverage. But now he's becoming a good cover guy also.
On 4th down, Saints. Good kick, chases Taylor back to his own 11-yard line where he signals fair catch, and 49ers will take over from there. 51-yard punt by Brian Hansen. With 3:49 now remaining, the 49ers 30, the Saints 17. And go back to the beginning of this game when the Saints got those turnovers and couldn't capitalize. That always comes back.
Yeah, it does. And you knew that if you're going to get that many opportunities against a good team like the 49ers, you got to start putting the game away. And the Saints didn't do it early. And then they couldn't get in, and they had to settle for field goals. And Morton Anderson missed 2 field goals. And that just set the tone for the whole day. And I think Morton Anderson missing that field goal just before halftime was a big, big letdown for the Saints.
Montana to Roger Craig. It's out to about the 15. Stopped by Jackson. First, Bruce Clark second.
The interesting thing there, the defense now is trying to take the ball away. They need a turnover. And of course, Roger Craig knows, the heck with the extra yardage here, I just have to hold on to it. And watch the battle at the end. Craig trying to hold on and the defense trying to get it out.
And Craig with that bandage around his right arm, and you pointed out before, that's where you cradle the ball. And that just makes it even more slippery.
When you have a 14-point lead with 3 minutes to go in the game, yardage isn't as important as keeping possession.
2nd and 5. And it's Roger Craig again. Up near the 20. He's going to be a little bit short of the first down. Stopped by Mills. Timeout, Saints.
You know, this is one of the things that impresses me about Roger Craig is not only does he carry the ball a lot, and he's basically the running back, or the only guy the 49ers really run, but a 4.9 average. That's the 3rd best in the NFL. And you always say, well, who are the 2 best guys? They're both running backs from the Cincinnati Bengals, James Brooks and Ickey Wood.
And we'll be in Cincinnati to look at them next Saturday when they play the Redskins. Roger Craig, by the way, has carried 20 times and gained 101 yards, averaging 5 today. 7 times this season he has gained 100 yards or more. One of those runs, a 28-yarder early before the 49ers' first touchdown, was vintage Craig.
And you know, here's a guy who works very hard. I mean, in the off season and during the season, and it pays off for him. And there's a lot of guys that are good players in the league, and we all know that, and they have good statistics and so on. But Roger Craig is the type of guy who's a good guy, and kind of being a good guy goes along with his ability. He's not just a good player, an average guy. He's a good player and a good guy.
And a guy who enjoys playing. 3rd and 1, fake to Craig by Montana. Gets it outside Rathman, first down, and Rathman rambles. Out to almost the 40, out of bounds by Atkins. A gain of 18, first down 49ers, and that pretty much settles the issue.
See that thing Rathman has on his arm? It says Bruise Crew. He got a new way. I mean, I don't know who the Bruise Crew is, but I'll bet you that one of those guys that is a Bruise Crew is him.
He might be the leader.
Look at that, Bruise Crew. I think when you have to wear that around, you better be tough, because, you know, someone's going to look, you know, if you go in there sideways, or you run out of bounds, or you put your head down on a block, the guy's going to look and say, yeah, Bruise Crew, baloney, Bruise Crew. If you wear Bruise Crew, you better have a crew cut and hit someone.
Saints took a timeout, and that's all of them for them. Steve Young, Bill Walsh. What about, John, you living here part-time at least, not necessarily during football season, but you keep hearing every week rumors, talk about Bill Walsh going to retire, has had enough of this, is burned out, disagreements with the front office. I didn't get that impression, did you?
Well, I didn't, but as he said, you know, when he lost to the Raiders, that was a low point, and he said if you would ask him then, he probably thought he would be getting out. And then he's put some wins together. And like I've always said, winning is a great deodorant. You know, it just covers so many things, and it makes a lot of things possible. And I would think that this could be Bill Walsh's last year, and if it isn't, I wouldn't think that he would coach maybe more than one more year. Just because 10 years is enough. I mean, that's about all you have in you. You don't have that many shots.
That's what you did, right?
I had 10, and that was it. It wasn't burned out as much as I just didn't want to do it anymore, and that was it. And I think that Bill Walsh is getting very close to that now.
People don't realize, unless you're close to it, how demanding it is. The time demands that are put on you. 2 minutes remain. 49ers up. Absolutely perfect. Very little wind, just a zephyr. And if you're a 49er fan, 30-17 makes you feel even better. Candlestick Park, Pat Summerall, John Madden, 30-17, the 49ers lead. And they have the football at their own 41-yard line. And the Saints are out of timeouts. Craig again, left side and around the corner. And out of bounds. Vaughn Johnson. That now is a final score. The Rams beat Atlanta 22-7. That's the final score. Those of you who watched that, welcome to Candlestick Park. Pat Summerall, John Madden, where the 49ers are beating the Saints with a minute and a half left, 30-17. Saints had some early chances, couldn't capitalize. They blocked a punt, intercepted a pass, recovered a fumble, and only got 3 points out of it. Montana up under the center, obviously aware of the fact that the Saints are out of timeouts. For those of you who just joined us expecting 60 minutes, welcome to CBS coverage of the National Football League. I'm Pat Summerall along with John Madden. We are at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The score, the 49ers 30, the Saints 17. Time remaining just over 45 seconds. 60 minutes will follow at the conclusion of this game. NFC Western Championship is going to come down to next week between the Rams and the 49ers. Saints still have mathematically a chance to get into the playoffs, but it's slim. Bill Walsh and the San Francisco 49ers run away and win this one 30-17. That's going to be the final. So the 49ers position themselves for the showdown next week against the Rams. They beat the Saints 30-17.